I was not being a good mom.
Okay.
I was constantly, my daughter's 16. She was old enough to babysit. So it was like, see you later. I'm going to the bar. And the bar always led to drugs. 4 years ago, my brother passed away. He committed suicide.
I'm sorry to hear.
And when I walked up, I didn't know what I was walking into when I walked into it. So I saw him.
Welcome to the Recovery Roundtable podcast, where the journey to sobriety opens up through powerful discussions and shared experiences. Join your host, Mark, who will bring you stories of triumph and resilience from the heart of Pacific Shores recovery. Every episode offers insights and support, guiding you through the challenges of addiction recovery. Thank you for joining our community. If you're ready to start or continue your recovery journey, we're here to inspire and support you. Let's explore recovery together.
So thank you for coming down. We just got to meet, and here's what I love. You rolled up with an entourage.
Oh, yeah.
You mind sharing what just happened behind the scenes?
So my best friend and her husband wanted to come to support me. My sister, she has been tagging along with me for most of my life. So her and her son came with us also, and then all of my kids. So I have three, the 16-year-old, 11-year-old, and actually Jackson will be 6 next week.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so glad I got to meet them. Badass kids.
Thank you.
Why don't you go ahead and share a little bit of your story, your name, and kind of how we got to here.
Man, I don't even know where to start. So my name's Tanya. Where do you want me to start? I don't even know.
How was life? Because you came into our virtual program about 3 to 4 months ago.
So I'm 102 days today.
So yeah, about three and a half months.
But I did have 2 weeks and I relapsed.
Okay. So let's go back to what was life like about 4 or 5 months ago that led you to reaching out and saying, there's got to be another way.
I was not being a good mom.
Okay.
I was constantly, my daughter's 16. She was old enough to babysit. So it was like, see you later. I'm going to the bar. And the bar always led to drugs.
Okay.
So whether it was coke or meth or whatever, it was kind of like once I got drunk enough, I was open to anything.
Okay. So it sounds like your daughter kind of took on the mom role.
Oh, she did. 100%. My daughter took on the mom role. I was dropping kids off at school coming down off of meth. And I had to take a look at my life, and that's not what I wanted. So 4 years ago, my brother passed away. He committed suicide.
I'm sorry to hear.
And when I walked up, I didn't know what I was walking into when I walked into it. So I saw him.
So you're the one that found him.
So I didn't find him. His girlfriend found him, and she called me and said, your brother shot himself. And I was just like, oh, his dumbass. He probably shot himself in the leg, or he was probably doing something stupid.
Right.
I didn't realize when she said he shot himself that he shot himself. So when I pulled up on the road, I saw him, and I had to sit there and wait for the coroner. I was the only next of kin on scene. So I went to the only coping mechanism I knew, which was drugs and alcohol, just numbing it for the last 4 years.
So before that...
I had used drugs when I started when I was 16.
Okay.
And then when I had my daughter, for the most part, I was sober. Okay. There was a few here and there kind of little party things where I would drink or whatever. But for the most part, I was sober, and my brother used to always tell me what a good mom he thought I was. He would always say that I was such a good mom. I was such a good mom. So I actually decided to get sober on his birthday.
Wow.
So that was the day that I called here, and I called Pack Shores, and I was just a mess. And I said, I can't do this anymore.
Where did you find the strength to reach out? Because that's a part a lot of people struggle with.
Actually, it was probably the weakest moment of my life. I don't think there was strength in that moment for me. I think that was like my ultimate weakness. And I was just so weak, and I was so done. And I was looking at my life and my kids, like, how did I get here? I kept thinking about my brother, and like, this is not what he would want me. Like, he would be so mad if he knew that I was using what happened to him as my excuse to be this piece of shit. Like, he would be so upset at me. So I don't know that I necessarily found strength to call. It was probably more like my weakest moment.
Wow. And thank you for sharing so openly.
Yeah.
Like I can feel your soul just kind of singing through this all. So for 4 years, you're coping with the trauma of seeing your brother and commit suicide. And was it kind of off on? Did you ever try to stop, or was it something that just continued to go? No worries.
Actually trying? No. I would say I was going to try. I would be like, that's it. Like, I'm so, you're hungover and you're like, I'm never drinking again.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of thing. But to actually try and put in any effort, no, I didn't. I kept using all of it as an excuse. Mm-hmm. And then it got to a point where I was like, this is no longer, it's not an excuse anymore. Like, I'm just doing it.
And were there some consequences that started, either health or legal, or was it just kind of all internal at that point?
Mostly internal. We had a CPS call to the house, but what they even called about wasn't anything that was true. It was still scary because I was like, it very well they could have showed up and I was drunk or something, The situation that CPS had said happened wasn't actually something that happened, but it was still a wake-up call. Like, we are on the path to having CPS show up. We are on the path to a lot of things. I got lucky that I didn't have any serious consequences legally for what I was doing, because I very well could have.
And were your kids at any point starting to talk to you about anything, noticing anything, or was it just kind of
my
an
daughter,
accepted way of life? Okay.
She was like, Mom, like, because, I would get drunk and go to leave, and she would be like, seriously, you're leaving again? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm out, because I was at this point where I just didn't care. Like, I'm not worried about anybody or anything except for myself. So yeah, my daughter for sure noticed. My middle son, he was like, oh great, Mom's drunk again. Or I always lied to them about like the meth and stuff. I do remember my daughter finding a rolled up $5 bill in my center console from sniffing coke, and she went to grab it, and I grabbed it out of her hand first because I knew there was probably coke residue on it. And I didn't want her touching that. She's 16. And then I decided to get sober. I called, and I started in the program, and then I did have a relapse. I relapsed on my daughter's 16th birthday, and I completely ruined her birthday party. And that was it for me. I was like, no more.
That was kind of the wake up call of like, I'm in this, I'm doing this, and I still was able to rationalize.
Yeah. I had a bunch of teenagers call the cops on me, and I was like, wow, okay, I'm the problem.
Yeah. Well, I know when we're in the pit of pain, it's so hard to see the beauty in it.
Yeah.
But afterwards, looking back, and so far, one of the things I've picked up with you is able to look back at those places of pain, but to say, had this not happened, I would not be where I am today.
Oh, for sure.
So one of the very unique things that you shared, and why I'm so excited to have you here, is because so many people will say, I can't leave my life in order to get help. And so it's this self-fulfilling prophecy that they continue to stay stuck because they can't leave. And full immersion is always the number one way to go for detox and residential. But you did something very unique that not many people that have tried have been able to, or they continue to go into that loop of, I call it the cycle of sedation. So how are you able to still function in life while still being completely vulnerable in this virtual program that we have, and do the work?
So, oh man, that's such a hard question, because really I knew that I had to be done with the life that I was living. I knew there was no way that me and my kids could continue on like that. And I also knew that there was no way that I could do inpatient. I have 3 kids. My sister and her son live with us. My husband works constantly. And so I would they couldn't function without me there. But I was also done. So I knew I had to figure something out. And when I called, because honestly, when I called, it was on a whim of just, I need help and I don't know what to do. And when they told me you can try the virtual program, I went all in. I just gave it my all, everything that I had. And I did relapse. I messed up. And Tim was amazing. He, fully took in my relapse, and it was probably one of the biggest lessons I learned was to let go of that guilt. Because that guilt that I was holding in from all of these different things was eating at me and feeding my addiction. So, yeah, I knew there's no way I can leave the kids. There's no way I can do inpatient, but I've had enough. And so just putting my all into it, knowing I need to get sober, and then having somebody like Tim helping me, telling me okay, you have to do it though. You got to put in the work. The 5 foundational freedoms, love them. That's a big one for me. I was never a big person to do the AA steps thing. But the 5 foundational freedoms, those, I'm constantly thinking about them now.
So you go into the virtual. How are you able to balance the chaos that a family has? I mean, the definition of a family, it's chaotic.
Yes.
So how to balance that, as well as what I like to call healthy selfish, which first fruits, that 5 to thrive. It's I got to take care of me. I put the oxygen mask on me first so I can then take care of my family. How are you able to balance that?
I think as parents, we figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think there was any trick to balancing it. I think that we figure it out. We make a new routine for ourselves. That was a big one, making a new routine. Okay, I get the kids from school. I get home. I start dinner. I start feeding them dinner so that I can get on to my meeting. I can talk with everybody. Just getting them to a point where they were set up and taken care of so that I could go take my time to do what I needed to do.
So it sounds like purposeful planning.
Yes.
To make sure I got everything taken care of so I can get the me time. One of the other parts is, how important is that community or environment factor of that virtual program?
It's super important. Super important. One of probably the biggest things that I feel is not wanting to disappoint everybody else.
Okay.
That accountability that they have. We all have for each other in that virtual program. I have gotten to know some of them really well, and the accountability that we hold for each other is amazing.
I love that. Yeah. What's interesting is when we start in it, we're all strangers.
Yeah.
And then within a week or two, we know the deepest, darkest secrets that we're the most ashamed to share. And everybody's looking at each other going, you too?
Yeah. So it makes it not feel shameful. Yeah. You're not ashamed because you're going into it and you're like, oh my gosh, I am an awful person and I have made all of these mistakes. And then you meet all these other people who are like, oh, I made mistakes too. And I did this. And, you know, kind of, you don't feel so alone and you don't feel like you're the only one who has done all of this to your life.
Yeah. So there's a few other questions that pop up. One is, we get a lot of people that say, I want to change. And then there's a hesitation of doing the work. I'm curious how you were able to, I'll call it, manipulate yourself to do the work every single day.
So honestly, that's why I relapsed. I wasn't putting in everything that I needed to put in.
What do you mean by that?
So it was like, I want to get sober, and here I am taking the step and I'm doing it. And, you know, like, it's so weird because I feel like I thought that there was going to be like this instantaneous, like, okay, I'm better now. And there's not. Like, it's so much work for so long. And in the beginning, it was like, well, I called and I got myself into this program and like, I'm doing it. But I wasn't giving it my all. And I feel like that relapse for me was important. It taught me something that I needed to learn, and that I needed to put everything I have into this, if this is what I really want.
Yeah, it sounds like it revealed to you some blind spots of, yes, I'm saying I'm doing the work. I remember we had a client come in one time, and I forget this. I've been doing this for, I think, 23 years now. Mm-hmm. So I kind of forget the early stages at times. And someone said something similar. They said, when I came in, I thought it was like, I'm here and you're going to take out this box. And when you open it, it's like the light shines. And it's like, that's the secret I've been looking for. I have it and then I'm done.
Yeah.
I didn't know there is no box. It's doing the work that retrains and rewires the brain. So you went for, it sounds like, a couple weeks of, you showed up, which is the first step. But that lack of actually doing the work to help retrain and rewire the brain led to that relapse. That was that aha of kind of like, yes, I'm still half-assing.
Yep.
If I go all in, now I have a shot at life changing. And so let's fast forward 3 months now. What's life like for you now?
It is so much better. I feel so much better about myself. I feel so proud of myself. I feel like a new person. I'm a new mom, which is really important. Having a 16-year-old, I don't want her. I look back at the mistakes I was making at 16, and I really don't want her making those same mistakes. And if I'm on this path doing all of these things, then it's like the monkey see, monkey do. And I don't want her doing that. So
yeah, kids don't listen to what we say. They do what they see.
Yes, exactly.
And so how's your relationship now with your daughter?
So much better. She is probably one of my biggest supporters. She's amazing. We are so close. We are so honest with each other now.
So that trust is back?
Yeah, the trust is back. It's so hard to say out loud, but I still scare her sometimes.
Well, sure.
You know, she gets nervous that I'm going to drink and I'm going to go off the rails.
Which is a healthy fear, given the past, but the fact that you guys are talking about it now and having an open dialogue where, I don't know about you, but I know the old version of us, we will justify, and blame, all sorts of stuff, as opposed to, I know a lot of the conversations that I'll have is, I'm afraid I might make a mistake as well in my life with some of the things that are going on. So that's a healthy fear. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And that helps remove that guilt and that shame.
Yep. And just the honesty too. When I was in it, I was lying, you know, like I wasn't coming home and being like, oh, sorry, mom's coming down right now. It was hiding in my room like, oh gosh, I don't want to even know that I didn't sleep last night. Like, you know, you're ashamed and afraid, and I don't know. Now I am honest with her. I did tell her, like, I was not just drinking, I was on drugs also, and it's because I don't want her to make those same mistakes. I want her to be consciously aware of these things, because I feel like at her age I wasn't.
Yeah. And then how's relationship with hubby now? I see a smirk. I saw a little smirk.
That one is it's gotten better. It's hard. It's gotten better. There's still a lot of work to be done. That's a difficult one because while I am sober, he is not.
Okay.
He still drinks a lot.
So how is that dynamic?
So, it's taught me to be stronger because I had to be. You know, like I'm constantly around alcohol. So I really had to make the decision in my own head I almost changed my thinking. So I tell myself all the time, he drinks, I don't drink. Like, and I just kind of leave it at that. Like, I don't drink. And the more I tell myself that, the better that I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good. I don't drink. He drinks. I don't drink.
Yeah, and that's a difficult situation when it's in the environment. So you've been navigating that by, what are some of the steps that you're taking?
So one of the things that Tim taught me was like an exit strategy. If I do start feeling like I can't handle it or like I'm going to drink, I need to remove myself from the situation. And another big one is playing the tape forward. So I stop and so I have like a 10-second thing where we can make a decision after 10 seconds. So you stop and you think and you give yourself 10 seconds. And in that 10 seconds, I play the tape forward. And I'm if I drink right now, what's going to happen? Well, my daughter's going to be mad. She's going to be super upset with me. I've ruined my, 102 days sober. All these different things, me and him are probably going to fight. It's going to make the whole situation worse. So I take that 10 seconds to play the tape forward. And I don't know. It's really helpful in not making those impulsive decisions.
Yeah.
I've had to learn a lot about not making impulsive decisions.
That's a big one. Is the impulse, that part of the brain that drives us thinking, this is the best idea ever. Yeah. And then
it's not.
I like that pausing for a little bit, playing the tape forward, and then going, okay, is this I call it the 2 C's. Is this decision gonna take me closer to my goal or contaminate it?
Yeah.
So that's
and 10 seconds doesn't seem like very long.
Yeah.
So when you're in it, you're like, okay, count to 10, think about it. Like, I don't know, because for me, I am so impulsive. And I do like to make spur of the moment decisions and stuff. Like, that's just who I am as a person. And so training my brain to take that 10 seconds doesn't seem like that long. But in reality, when you're standing in the moment, that 10 seconds can make all the difference.
Yeah, big time. So one of the questions that I like to ask is, when we get a little bit of time, we're able to look back at our darkest moment. And many times, we needed this version of us now to be there for us back then. What would you tell that part of you with what you know now? What were you needing to hear?
I'm gonna cry.
That's okay.
That it wasn't my fault. That there wasn't anything that I could have done. That I am good enough and I do deserve to be happy.
That's beautiful.
'Cause she blamed herself a lot for a lot of things. A lot of things that I've learned and know now are not my fault. I think especially through suicide. I think that everybody, you go through these motions of, what could I have done? And in reality, nothing. There's nothing that I could have done. I tried my hardest. I did everything that I could have. And ultimately, it was the decision he made.
So how does that feel now, knowing this truth, this freedom?
I find myself having an easier time being happy. I'm happier now, and I don't carry all of the resentment and anger that I was carrying around with me constantly, that was pushing me towards numbing myself with drugs and alcohol. Like, I felt a need to consistently numb myself, and now I feel free. Yeah. I feel free, and I find myself having an easier time enjoying things and actually being happy.
Yeah. What a beautiful transformation.
Thank you.
How is your relationship with him now?
With my brother? I talk to him all the time. He's in here. I wear a necklace that has his ashes in it. He's right there on my leg also.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even notice that. That's beautiful.
So that's his signature. This was a part of his tattoo that was on his chest. And then I had his portrait done. I also have this one. This actually has his ashes in it.
Wow.
So they mixed the ashes into the ink and then did my tattoo. And I feel like I'm finally a person that he would be proud of. I feel like he was a drug addict also. And he was homeless for a while. And, he really struggled and had a hard time. And I think that's why I decided to get sober on his birthday, was because I was just, this is not who he would want. I'm not somebody he would be proud of right now. I am not. He's probably looking down on me like, what the hell, dude? What are you thinking? What are you doing? Like, and so I talk to him all the time, and I feel like I'm finally someone that he can look down on and say, dude, you're doing it. Like, I'm proud of you. You're a good mom again.
That's beautiful. And the reason why I ask is because when we hold on to that old narrative, that's what creates the guilt and the pain and the shame. And it actually distorts the relationship we have, because it's just the physical body and the soul goes on. Yes. And once we start to free ourselves from that guilt and that shame, the entire relationship changes. And that's why I ask these questions, because seeing the transformation, so many people get stuck in this place of the cycle of sedation from the trauma, and unresolved pain continually creates trauma.
Well, and for so long, I blamed him for why my life was the way that it was.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you doing this ruined my life. You did this to me. You ruined my life. You messed everything up. Things were fine before, and now look at me, and it's all because you did this. You made this decision that ruined my life. But no, he wasn't trying to ruin my life.
Yeah.
He couldn't take his life anymore. And I chose to ruin mine and use him as the excuse.
And then you chose to live.
Yep.
I heard this the other day again. It resonates so much. So many of us will say we'll die for something.
Yeah.
But will we choose to live for something?
Exactly. And I needed to live for my kids.
Yeah.
I needed to live for them. And what I was doing was, I was either going to slowly or quickly kill myself. And when you're in it, you don't care.
Oh, yeah.
You don't care.
All bets are off.
Yeah. You're just like, whatever happens, happens. But once you're out of it and you're looking back, you're like, I can't believe I put myself in those positions. What was I thinking? Why would I do that? And now all I can think is how lucky I am. I got lucky that those positions that I put myself in didn't kill me, didn't, do any major damage to me, didn't put me in jail. Like there are so many things that can happen, and I am not naive to the fact that they probably should have.
So one of the things that you shared that I don't want to gloss over is you made a change from living in a place of blame and victim to full accountability and ownership, and then you made the change. Yep. Do you mind if we kind of dig in a little bit there of how you were able to make that mental transition?
There's not one moment that makes that transition. There's a lot of putting in the work. I feel like it was, even in the beginning of my sobriety, I was still blaming him. That he ruined my life, that he did this to me. But throughout it, learning new coping mechanisms, learning new things about myself, learning how to love myself again, how to be happy with who I am and proud of who I am. Through all of that, it was a slow transformation of figuring out, like, that was his life and this is my life. And it sucks that his life had to end. And it's awful. And I'm allowed to grieve. I'm allowed to be sad. I'm allowed to have all of these feelings about it.
Yeah.
But I also need to take accountability where I need to take accountability. And he didn't do this to ruin my life. I'm ruining my life all on my own.
And that's so powerful to be able to say, and it's scary as hell, but just the power and conviction I hear and feel behind that. I think that's why you've gotten the results so quickly and against the odds of doing it from home with this virtual program, which I love and am so excited. So what does the future look like for you and your family?
Right now, I am still focusing on finding myself, figuring out who I am, not just as a mom and a wife, but one of the biggest things I've learned throughout this is that I need to find me. I've always just been a mom and a wife, and now I'm learning who is Tanya.
Yeah, you get to have a full rebirth.
Yeah, exactly.
That is awesome.
Yeah, just focusing on being a good mom too. I owe them 4 years now.
That's beautiful. So if someone's watching this and is either on the fence about the virtual program or maybe doesn't even know exactly what it is, what would you suggest to them?
Try it. Just try. And that's so because I did relapse, that's the other thing. Like, if you mess up, get back up and keep going.
Yeah.
Like, I could have used that relapse as another excuse and been like, well, I already messed up, so what's the point? But instead, relapses happen. They do. And as long as you get up and you keep going and you put your all into it, the other thing is because I do convince myself it doesn't take up that much time. It really doesn't. Like, I'm busy. I have a lot going on with 3 kids and my sister and my nephew and my husband. Like, we have a full house. And so I just convinced myself, like, it's 3 days a week. It's an hour. Like, that's not that much. That's not that much. You can do it. You can put in that time. Like, and taking that 1 hour, 3 days a week, and slowly integrating the things that you're learning into your entire day doesn't take that much time. It feels overwhelming at first. You feel like, oh my gosh, this is such a big change. But it's not. It's slow changes.
That's wonderful. I love how you've learned to call yourself out on your own BS.
Oh yeah.
To recenter, because that is a muscle that when we don't work out is impossible to find, but when we do, that's what keeps us keeping pulled to our why and our purpose.
So, like I said, that's probably one of the greatest things that I have learned is the accountability. Like the way that my group holds me accountable. You know, like sometimes you get in those moods and you go into group and you're like, well, you know, we do our peaks and our pits. And you go in and you're like, oh my gosh, this pit is horrible. And that's all you can think about. And you're like wallowing in your own self-pity. And then you get into group and they hold you accountable. Well, what good happened to you? Well, you know, or Tim will make us tell him 3 things we like about ourselves. And there's just that accountability where you're like, okay, maybe this happened, but like there's also good things that are happening, and there's also, you know, things that we can do about those negative things that are happening, our pits. We can usually do something about it or look at it in a different way. And you just have to retrain yourself to do that, and the accountability of the group is so helpful in that because we all throw out our ideas. It's everybody coming together as one.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's so interesting how whatever we focus on, we start to feel and kind of build that emotion. And then we can learn, well, I'm blaming over here, but I can also blame with more intentionality over here and blame for the good as well.
Yeah.
So, well, it has been awesome having you come down, and thank you for coming down to visit Orange County and to be on here to share your experience and where you came from, what life looks like. I'm in awe.
Thank you.